Good evening, Farhana.
Good evening.
So we'll wait till 7:30 and
Okay.
we'll start.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I will start. Today we are going to learn about Indian education system. Already we learned Japan education system, And today we are going to learn the Indian education system and Sri Lankan education system. Right. So after learning those education system, you all have to do the comparison table. Right. So Indian education system is important because our two country, the India is the closest country for us, and also cultural wise, uh, almost same, right? But India is a big country, and the population is now I think number one, right? Compared to India, Sri Lanka is a very small country. So education system, right, in India, so they are believing in goddess Saraswati. Uh, so they are goddess of wisdom, right? So wisdom means beyond knowledge, right? So they are worshipping Saraswati Devi as a goddess of wisdom, right? So education is a process of learning or getting of knowledge, skills, values, and habits of essential needs of life. Even in Sri Lanka, we have that CASP model: knowledge, skill, attitudes, and practice. So in India, process of learning or getting of knowledge, skills, values, and habits, right? So that is somewhat same as attitude of essential needs of life. So that part is similar with Sri Lanka. Education system is differ from one another country. Not all the countries are following a common education system, right? So education system is different, right, in each country. We learn Finland education system, Japan education system, UK education system, right? The structure and the subjects, right? So the duration, um, uh, compulsory education, everything, the duration, the time duration is different. Even some subjects are different, and their objective also different. The content of this presentation: introduction, history of education in India, type of education system followed in India, advantages of Indian education system, the drawbacks of Indian education system, Indian versus foreign in education system, India to do improve education system, right? So one student perception and conclusion, right? The education system in India, right, you can see in the picture. So this is also somewhat similar uh, to Sri Lanka, right? So in the beginning, in ancient times, India had a Gurukula system. So Sri Lanka also had the same system of education in which anyone who wished to study went to a teacher, guru, house, and requested to be taught. If accepted as a student by the guru, he would then stay at the guru's place and help in all activities at home. So this not only created a strong tie between the teacher and the student, but also taught the student everything about running a house. So the same type of education we had at the beginning education system in Sri Lanka. The guru taught everything the child wanted to learn, from Sanskrit to the holy scripts, and from mathematics to metaphysics. So whatever the guru knows, right, that guru will pass all the knowledge to the Sishya, right? So here the subject wise there are dissimilarities, right? So here Sanskrit to holy scripts, from mathematics to metaphysics. The student stayed as long as she wished, or until the guru felt that he had taught everything he could teach. So there's no time duration, right? So according to the students, their level of study, pace, it will change. All learning was closely linked to nature and to life, and not confined to memorizing some information, right? So Guru the teacher taking you from darkness to light. So that is the motto of Guru teacher relationship. So normally the teacher is like a oil lamp, right, or a candle, right? So that light will bring the students from darkness. So giving knowledge and bring the students from darkness to light. Modern education system was brought to India, including the English language, originally by Lord Thomas Babington Macaulay in 1830. So the curriculum was confined to modern subjects such as science and mathematics, and subjects like metaphysics and philosophy were considered unnecessary. Right, so Guru Shishya learned these subjects, but in the modern education, those subjects were considered unnecessary. Right, teaching was confined to classroom, and the link with nature was broken, as also the close relationship between the teacher and the student. So in the Gurukula system, the teacher-student relationship is very close, because everything is done by student to Guru. So there will be a strong relationship between teacher and the student, right? So in the modern education system, that type of the relationship is not here, right? So can anyone comment on this picture? It's a very famous picture, very old, but still we can use this picture to explain our education system. Any ideas?
Ma'am, so this picture shows
Yes.
that all the students must go through the same curriculum, same scenario, even if that child is able to do it or not, or even if that child has a different interest, they are not, mm, facilitating that particular path. All the students have to go through the same thing. Uh, with, their likes and dislikes are not taken into consideration, whether they are able to do
Yes.
it or not. Yeah, am I correct?
Yes. Right? Yes, correct. Right. So the teacher is saying that it's a fair selection. Because of that fair selection, uh, so we already we have learned about individual differences, right? But here you can see totally different, right? So a bird, monkey, penguin, and elephant, right? Fish, dog, right? So, uh, so our classroom is also the same, no, right? Maybe
Yeah.
not in the size and the age, but each and
Right.
everyone is different. Their interest, ability, potential, everything different. And even the intelligence also different. But we are not considering anything, and we are conducting one fits for all examination, right? So evaluation also, we are not considering
Yeah.
any differences, right? Even in the lesson, when we are planning the lesson also, we are not considering about any other things. Especially nowadays, our school system is inclusive education. So inclusive education means differently able children also will be there. So are we considering them as differently able children and preparing uh, a special paper for them, or conducting different classes for at least few subjects? So are we,
That,
otherwise, are we having a separate classroom for them? Or
uh,
uh, at least, yes? Yes, ma'am.
Not really. No, I don't think that happens because we don't have much that kind of a facility, right? Like every school.
Right. So
So
without any facility, right? Even the schools are not, even in the infrastructure. So how a child in wheelchair enter the school? So without a lift. So are the so is they have uh, proper washrooms for them to use, right? So what about the classroom size, right? So can they climb up? So are they having a separate place to play, even to climb up, right? So the normal children, they will run, right? So sometimes um, it may be difficult for the differently able children to climb up. So who is going to carry every day, right? So in that way, even there's no special education teachers assigned for all schools, right? So that type of thing. So in this picture, right, in 1830, right? So in that era, the so the 18th century, right? So this picture says, right? So you can't think that everyone is capable for everything, right? So he's asking to climb. Please climb that tree. Can elephant do that? Or fish, penguin, monkey, of course, can.
Yeah.
Dog. So
Monkey.
that's what, as a teacher, right, we have to have a common, that means critically we have to think of students in a class, right? So in 1830, they thought the thought of that Indian education system, and after that they changed, right? So in Indians, the school system. So India is a huge country, no, right? So India is divided into 28 states, right? And seven so-called union territories. The states have their own elected governments, while the union territories are ruled directly by the government of India, with the President of India appointing an administrator for each union territory. So these type of categories we don't have in Sri Lanka, right? So they have 28 states, right? So as per the Constitution of India, school education was originally a state subject. That is, the states had complete authority on deciding policies and implementing them. So completely state is responsible for education. They are deciding the policies and implementing them. The role of the government of India was limited to coordination and deciding on the standards of higher education. Right? So, even in Sri Lanka, when we are comparing, right, our education system also decided by state. That means educational commission. So they are formulating policies and passing to the president. If they got the approval, they are going to implement that, right? So according to that policy, Ministry of Education and the National Institute of Education is going to work with, right? Prepare books, prepare curriculum according to that policies. So here in this picture, the study is very hard to carry, right, by the student. So you can see teacher is relaxed, sleeping. University people are grabbing the money from the student, right? So this is what the education system is, right? Higher education in Sri Lanka is also highly competitive, right? The very um, less percentage of students only can enter the state universities. So maybe 10%. So we have to think of other 90% of student population, what they are going to do, right? So even though 1.5 lakh students are eligible for university, uh, they are not accommodating all, right? So, so that disparity is there, right, in education system. Even though we are saying equal rights, equity, but it was not there, right? Our university number of state universities is very less amount, right? And when we are learning the other countries, they have enough of universities, right? But here it is highly competitive. But recently they introduced non-state universities, right? Private universities, non-state, private universities. So those universities are fee living. So, but one loan scheme was introduced in Sri Lanka recently. Uh, so not for all areas or themes, right? So they are giving Bachelor of Education, right? Degree program, honest degree program, and also management and IT, right? So it's a um, those three, and there are few other courses also offered by the Ministry of Education, right? And they are offering 11 lakhs to 15 lakhs for a student as a uh, interest-free loan, right? So they have to complete the degree, and they are giving a grace period of 1 year to find a job. So after finding the job, so monthly they have to pay 9,500 rupees. And sometimes now it must be increased, right? Anyway, monthly they have to pay, right? So the whole period of 4 years for honest degree program, the government is going to pay the school fees and extra payment for their living, right? Um, that system introduced in Sri Lanka recently. But I think 3,000 odd students per year, they are enrolling. Our campus also having that system. The Ministry of Education is sending students. So this time I think we are going to get 500 students, right? So likewise, they are the interest-free loan means that is also a big point, right? So if they are getting a loan of 15 lakhs, 11 to 15 lakhs in a bank, they have to pay a huge amount of interest, right? So this is interest-free loan. So they are using the money and again they have to pay back, right? So that system was in the countries also, right? Students can uh, uh, apply for loans, right? And the government will, there are schemes to reimburse from the students, right? So in India, the government is, state is the responsible place. So when we are thinking of primary education system in India, right? Uh, so so the teachers are not wearing sari in primary education, right? So they are wearing shalwar, kurta. Even the students, you can see, they are not wearing blue and white like Sri Lanka. So the primary education, yeah, the Indian government lays emphasis to primary education up to the age of 14 years. Refer to elementary education in India, right? So they are using this word, elementary education. But in Sri Lanka, we are using primary education. That name we are using. The Indian government has also banned child labor in order to ensure that the children do not enter unsafe working conditions. Like Sri Lanka also imposed this child labor, they banned, right? Even though they banned, right, some children are working in houses, right? Uh, and however, both free education and the ban on child labor are difficult to enforce due to economic disparities and social conditions. Right. So in India also there are a lot of areas with poor people, marginalized people, and caste problem also there. So 80% of all recognized school at the elementary stage, right? Recognized schools. So you can see in the previous picture, the um, uh, uniform is different, and here you can see some other uniforms, right? So when we are reading about this primary education, right? So we have 1 to 5 primary education, right? Here, primary and middle, lower primary standards 1 to 5. But we are not calling as lower primary, just primary 1 to 5, right? And upper primary. So in India, the structure is different. Upper primary standards. So 6 to 8 upper primary, right? In Sri Lanka, only up to grade 5, we used to use that name, right? So education is compulsory and free in India. Primary education begins at age 6, same like Sri Lanka, right? With middle upper primary school education ending at age 14. So up to 14 years, the education is compulsory, right? So primary, lower primary, upper primary is compulsory. Schooling is offered at state-run and private schools. However, private schools often have poorer facilities and infrastructure than government schools. So in Sri Lanka, vice versa, private schools are having more facilities than the state schools. The regional languages medium of instruction for primary school schools and English as a second language generally begins by grade 3. Regional language, because there are 28 states, 28 states speaking different languages. So regional language is the medium of instruction, but they are starting English from grade 3, right? So the future purpose of education is to make minds, not careers, right? And in primary, creating a child-friendly environment, learning by doing, okay? So the learning by doing is a motto of John Dewey and Rousseau, right? So John Dewey, philosopher, established his own school to apply this learning by doing philosophy, right? So he made a revolution in America by implementing that method. And so that method followed by other few other countries also, right? So learning by doing. So you can see, so they are, we are thinking children are playing, but they are learning through that play. So when we think of secondary education in Sri Lanka, it begins in grade 9, right, up to 8, lower primary and higher primary, and after that grade 9 and last until grade 12, 3 years. So the secondary stage is broken into 2. So 2-year cycles, generally referred to as general lower secondary school or standard X, and upper senior secondary school standard, I think 10 and 12, right? 10, 11, 12. So education continues to be free at government schools, although private education is more common at the secondary level. So children must be taught how to think, not what to think. So Margaret Mead. So Margaret Mead is famous for one research. Is anyone known about that research? Margaret Mead? Right, ethnography research, that means Margaret Mead lived with this one group of people, right? There are 2 type of groups in Papua New Guinea, I think, right? So she wanted to know the real these attitudes. What are the lifestyle of those 2 different groups? Because one group is behaving well and the other group was not. So she wanted to know the difference, why and what is happening inside. So she lived with them, right? So that's children must be taught how to think, not what to think. So here you can see in this picture, we must see our creative capacities for the richness they are. Intelligence is diverse, dynamic, distinct. So brilliant people think they are not because the think, not because the think they are good, right? And it's I can't read that. It goes deep with people like religion, politics. So school skill creativity, right? Uh, so I think under philosophy you will learn one person called uh, Ivan Illich. He's a philosopher, recent philosopher. So deschooling society. He's against the school system. So he wrote a school deschooling uh, society, right? So that book was create a huge wave in the country because every country is spending more on money in the education. No? But Ivan Illich mentioned, so they are killing creativity and they trapped into the school and so it's the children are not thinking out of the box, like, right? So the school system has to be changed, right? So if possible, you can read regarding Ivan Illich. He's a Christian father, right? Kids are not frightened to be wrong. So there are a lot of things you have to think regarding education, especially um, children's education. History of education in India. So early education system is commenced under the supervision of gurus. Started with the Guru Shishya thing, no, right? Gurukulaya. So there's no special classroom or laboratories are there in older days. The house of gurus are place to learn, and it is called Veda Nilaya, right? So that is the starting point, and there's no laboratories, no classrooms, right? They have to sit, even no chairs, no desk, right? So there's no fee or any prizes. In older days, the teachers has to choose the student to whom they want to teach the skills. So teacher is selecting, right? So it shows that everyone is not going to get chances, right? So there's no fee or any prizes given to the gurus. Instead of that, a lifelong benefits will be provided by the student to his true guru. Lifelong benefits. So types of education system followed in India. The national policy of education system was framed in the year 1986 and it was amended in year 1992. In Sri Lanka also, we had lot of reforms, changes before independence, after independence, right? So before independence, few changes, right? But after independence, there are a lot of changes took place, right? So after 1949, huge reforms in 1972, but it stands only for 5 years, right? And after that, 1981, 1992, 1997, and after that, 2007, right? So why those reforms, right? The education is dynamic, changing. Uh, in Sri Lanka, they introduced information technology into the education. So the need changes have to uh, taken place or include into the curriculum. So that's what changes. That means uh, so many reforms came, right? So the scheme name Rashtriya Madhyamika Abhiyan was established in the year of 2009, and main aim of this scheme is everyone can able to easy access to secondary education and to improve the quality of higher education system. So in Gurukula system, right, all the students are not going to get opportunities. But in this national policy, by year 2009, everyone can able to easy access, right? So the new education policy is formed in the year 2016 to bring revolutionary changes in education system, right? So after 2009, they also had a reform and change in 2016. So it brought revolutionary changes in Indian education system, right? So in Sri Lanka in 1972, our former president Ranil Wickremesinghe only made a huge reforms, right? So he introduced two different earlier O-level, A-level, and he introduced NCGE and HNCE, right? So two parallel things are going on, old syllabus and the new syllabus. And without any preparation, they started. So the teachers are not trained, a lack of resources, and highly academic. So after 5 years, and especially he introduced vocational subject 1, vocational subject 2, according to their region. So that makes the big issue, because farmers means the child have to take agriculture as a vocational subject. But the parents don't like that category. They don't want their children to be farmers. Even fishermen, they don't like to have their own children into that way. So that contradiction came. So they spent a lot of money on that system, but anyway, it failed. After 5 years, they have to change, right? So after that, there was no vocational subject 1 and 2, but they had technical subjects, right? So sometimes it will work out and sometimes it is not. So they have to do a reform. So in India, the 2016, these reforms worked well. So this is the Indian higher education system. Primary, age 6 to 11. Secondary, 6 to 10, age 11 to 5 to 11. And higher secondary, 11 to 12. Class 11 to 12, age 16 to 17. Primary, classes 1 to 5, 6 to 11. Secondary classes 6 to 10, age 11 to 15. Right, so higher secondary, graduation, professional 4 years, medicine 5 years, commerce 3 years. And after that, post-graduation, 5 to 1. So post-graduation, it's depend on the program, right? So honors degree is 4 years, general degree 3 years. Likewise, it will differ. So primary, secondary, higher secondary, graduation, post-graduation. The time duration and the age is different from Sri Lanka. So what are the advantages of Indian education system? So by comparing with other countries, only in India, every student have a basic knowledge about all the subjects. Right? So comparing with other countries means Sri Lanka also have the same system, right? So the every student have to follow 8 subjects up to O level. So the basic knowledge is given by all those subjects. So only schools in India follow the regular attendance method so that student will gain basic knowledge about their daily habitation and life needs. So even here, not only in India, right? So in Sri Lanka also they are maintaining attendance. And students go through many exams in their learning years. It teaches them to analyze their own strengths and weaknesses consistently. So we don't have many exams, but scholarship, O level and A level, right? So drawbacks, disadvantages of Indian education system. In India, up to 85% of students were used to memorize the content in the books and used to write the same words in the exams. Right? So that is a big criticism uh, for Indian education. They are memorizing, but they are defending, right? Even though it is memorized, the books were written in needed way. Even though they are memorized, they will get the knowledge, skills, and attitudes. They are defending like that, right? And only 18% of students were used to understand the concept of the subject and can able to answer in their own words. All the others are memorizing. Only 18% of students only uh, answering in their own words. Otherwise, 85% of the students directly from the book. That means memorized sentences. So the syllabus is mostly in the form of theoretical basis. There is only few subjects contains practical contents. So the same with Sri Lanka, right? Sri Lanka also highly knowledge-based education, exam-oriented education system. No skills developed, right? That is the criticism we have in Sri Lanka. So the schools are not preparing students for productive students for world of work. It is the criticism Sri Lankan education system have. In India, the quality of education is depending upon the money and politics. So these two things rules the education nowadays and makes the education as a corporate business in India. Even in Sri Lanka, edu business, tuition culture, tuition masters are the richest people in Sri Lanka. And also a lot of private these universities and campuses started, right? So don't know whether they are thinking of the quality of education, but top-up degrees introduced, right? Uh, so um, the same issues in India, because India is have a huge population, young crowd, right? So money and politics, right? So those two things rules the education nowadays. Even in Sri Lanka, if the political party is changing, they are going to make some changes in education system. So that is same with Sri Lanka. Still, the 21st century in the modern world in India, not everyone has sufficient need to access the schools and higher studies. right? So a certain percentage is doing higher education, but not all, right? So very rural area, villages, right? Still, the literary rate and the uh, education is not reached for them. So there are still many single teacher school in many villages in India. Single teacher. Uh, Even in Sri Lanka, in some areas, with very less number of students, if one teacher is functioning. Now, I think they are going to connect those students with another school. So it's a huge loss for government, right? So Indian versus foreign in education system. Even in Sri Lanka, there are a lot of foreign universities have their teacher center, right? Uh, so Australian universities, UK universities, even in our campus, education, the London University is doing law. The children are doing under London University, uh, and biotechnology. So Malaysian University is doing. Asia University under that university, uh, early childhood education honors degree program is going on, and Stafford University and Australian universities. There are a lot of programs going on. So here, so state universities are independent, right? They are not collaborated with. They are doing collaborating programs, but not uh, teacher centers, the study centers. We used to compare our India with other countries in other faculties and laws, and then why we are not comparing our education system with other foreign countries. We are not comparing itself. So comparing to foreign countries in India, we had Dhirubhai Ambani, who proved that a common man can become a billionaire. Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who dared to build missiles for India. So such people, though in small numbers, because of these people lining up in top ranks in education. So as you all know, right, even in America, the highest positions are mostly Indian people owned, right? So the Facebook, Sridhar Pichai, right? Likewise, even in NASA, a lot of Indians are working. Few Sri Lankans also there, right? So such people, though in small numbers, because of these people lining up in top rank in education. And Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam is the president, former president of India. But what is my question is whether they are the products of our Indian education system. That even in America, I think Trump, the president, asked that same question from Sridhar Pichai, right? Whether they are products of Indian education system. So he answered, I started my education in Sri Lanka, India. So with that knowledge only, I continued the education in America, right? So now they are self-driven and inspired by themselves and reach the high end in their life. So foreign education system leads the students to get international recognized qualification so that students can look forward to good career prospects when they complete their education, right? So even now, most of the Sri Lankans, young generation, they wanted to migrate to foreign countries, right? So that even in most of our graduates also applying for higher studies. They are not continuing higher studies here, right? They wanted to migrate. Uh, so if they have a qualification of such countries, it's easy to get a job there, right? And they can apply for PR also. That may be, right? So even most of the Indians, right, they are applying for masters or higher education in another country, and they are working. And so now that's what there are uh, they are protesting, right? Because most of the people from outside is working in those countries. So uh, the people uh, who are own in that country, they don't have jobs. So so those things are going on in other countries. Protestants. Uh, so India to improve education system, right? So every country is thinking to improve the education system. So there's many changes should be made to improve the quality of our Indian education system. Indian government needs to invest large amount in order to develop the infrastructure of schools and colleges. So the buildings are collapsed, right? A lot of children died in India, right? So the corruption is there also, right? The people who are building the schools not properly built, right? So those things are there. Methods of teaching needs more change. Teachers should encourage the students to think logically to increase creativity in students. So this part, even Sri Lanka also emphasizing methods of teaching need more change. So teachers should encourage the students to think logically and to increase creativity in students, right? So they realize, right, the memorizing is not going to help for a long time. So they are in the thinking of change that mindset, right? And the biographies of successful persons should be part of the syllabus so that students can mold their personalities. I think now our textbooks are also having that biographies of successful people. In India, the physical education has no primary importance with comparing to other subjects. So there's no proper syllabus and no regular periods are allocated for physical education. But in Sri Lanka, entirely different. They are giving priority for health and physical education, right? But it's a basket subject. 6 to 9 compulsory, and after that, it's going to be going to the basket. So here, once person's perception of Indian education system. I will never say that Indian education is the poorest education system because I too educated by the same Indian education system. As an Indian, I'm proud to say that India has the best teachers in the world. If we compare our Indian teachers to other country teachers, they have more responsibility to make the students as a successful learners, right? So this is one person's perception, right? We can't generalize this, right? My request to students is never memorize the syllabus or content in the books. Try to be book with huge, be a book. Try to be a book with huge content. So she's totally against to memorizing, right? And so here, this picture also very popular, right? So here the education system is an engine. So you can see small children are going into that. And the graduates are going out. So this engine is producing graduates, right? They are they are this uh, and so there are three um, types. Uh, so uh, this picture shows, right? The education is mechanical, right? Uh, so the person who is own this education system is happy because all the students going in is going out as graduates, right? And education in India is provided by the public sector as well as the private sector, with control and funding coming from three levels: central, state, and local. Under various articles of Indian Constitution, free and compulsory education is provided as a fundamental right to children between ages of 6 to 14. That means lower primary and higher primary is compulsory. India has made progress in terms of increasing the primary education attendance rate and expanding literacy to approximately three-quarters of the population in the 7 to 10 age group. So young generation is more in India, but in Japan, age population is more, right? So it's a huge threat, right? India's improved education system is often cited as one of the main contributors to its economic development. So schools are producing graduates. Right, please read this one before explaining. Please go through this. Yes. So higher education and scientific research has been credited to various public institutions. So even they are giving, uh, that means they are evaluating the standards of the universities uh, if they are doing research. They have to conduct research symposium. Students have to do research. Staff have to do research, right? So in that way, so higher education and scientific research has been credited to various public institutions. So they are talking about enrollment. So it's increasing, 24% increasing. So the primary and secondary level, India has a large private school system complementing the government-run school with 29% of students receiving private education in the 6 to 14-year uh, age group, right? So private schools are most popular schools in India for secondary education. And enrollment of student even in India is 96%. So the 19% increase of girls enrollment. So there's an issue in sending girls to school in India, especially in the village side. That is also increased by 19%. So importance of education according to Indian education, right? So education is equal to future, right? So if your children, the children are educated, they have a good future. They can go to a good job. They can earn more money, right? The level of life standard will be high, right? So life changing experience. To be a successful person, creativity, innovation, inspiration, vision, goal, training, focus, teamwork, education, motivation. Right? These the characteristics are needed to be a successful person. So here, so you can see, don't look, uh, so run, uh, no kids don't listen to him. So those two are fighting, right? So children are watching, right? So, so we have to give quality education. To give quality education, the teachers have to be a quality person, right? So there are some major problems in India in education. Education is not received, it is achieved, right? So budget allocation is a problem, and debt, government debt also another major problem. And education system is based on unequal lines. So medium of education is different in both public and private sector. This creates a sort of disparity among people, dividing them into two segments. So is this problem is in Sri Lanka? Yes, Kanchana. So think of international schools and government schools, private schools. So
Yeah,
now
not different, but
yes,
India is mentioned the different, madam. But here we are didn't mention like that. Indian education like that.
international schools.
Yeah, in India they are separating government schools, international school like that, education wise. But in Sri
Mm.
Lanka we didn't mention divided like that, like India.
But anyway, right? So in Sri Lanka, now the number of international schools are increasing now, right? So most of the parents like to have their children in international schools because of English, because the future will be for English and easy to access for higher education, right? So, but anyway, it's very expensive, right? So, the students who are educated in international schools are their medium of instruction is English, so they are good in English, right? So, think of our rural schools and government schools. Now they have English medium for limited students. Not all the students are doing in English medium now. So the job market is open for English. They are
English
working,
medium.
yeah, working language is English. So who is going to get the jobs? Right? So there's a disparity, public and private sector. This creates a sort of disparity among people, dividing them into two segments, right? English medium students, mother tongue students, right? So mother tongue students might find difficult to uh, do the higher education because of the lack of the knowledge of English is not like international school students, right? Some international schools doing local examination and some international schools doing different countries thing, and they're migrating. So many things have happened. Anyway, those children sometimes uh, they will stay there in the country, or otherwise they will come back, right? So once, because I had that experience, right? So my the I have two sons, right? And my first son also in Sri Lanka, they had the multinational companies got together and they had a program, right, to select students. Actually, not just an interview, they had that program for more than 2 months. They are giving different tasks for those children. First of all, they have to sit for the examination. So a lot of students sit for the examination. From that, they are selecting 300 according to the marks, right? And then they are giving tasks and reduce that number up to 100, right? And then again, they will give us many tasks according to the completion of a task, right? Uh, Again, they are reducing up to 30, right? So likewise, they are selecting the cream students for their uh, graduates for their companies, right? Uh, so I can't remember that name. My son also got selected in that 30, right? And he placed second in the list, right? First boy is from St. Thomas, uh, and he is a brilliant person because uh, he got 3 A's and got medicine, but he don't want to go to the medicine. And again, he said for the engineering, and he got again 3 A's, and particularly he's an engineer, right? So the selected people, the 30 people are foreign graduates, right? So my son also got a scholarship from Peradeniya University and went abroad. So almost the 30 are from foreign university. So with a lot of tasks and practical sessions, only they selected. So I went through the book, right? Then only I came to know all are from Sri Lankans, but their degrees are from foreign countries. So we can see some differences from our graduates and that graduates. That's why they got selected. So maybe the skillful thing or something is suitable for the world of work. So that type of education we have to give to our students also, right? So even now, right, in the future, right, there will be a huge crisis among our international school students and the local students, right, in the job market. So unequal lines, right? Lack of technical education. The lack of technical education is the biggest flaw in the education policy that has never been focused before. So therefore, less technical people means low standard of education, technical education. Even in Sri Lanka, we are lack of technical education, right? So now only we have started. The India, of course, information technology, they are the number one, right? But in our country, recently we started the technical education side, right? Especially information technology. So problems of rural schools, teacher compensation, school employees, school buildings, technology and funding, right? So rural schools, our rural schools also having the same problem. Technology, rural and small town schools report lower rates of internet access and of using telecommunications to access information, keep records and communicate with parents. So this issue faced by the school students during Corona period, right? So lower rates of internet access, right? So even they don't have a smartphone, right? So online education given during that time. So rural schools, 71% even in India have facing this problem. Class இருக்கேனா முடிஞ்சோன்னு எடுக்கிறேன். Oh. Right. So that problem is there, right? Technology problem, of course, same with here the rural schools are facing, but in Sri Lanka, some urban schools also facing the problem. Overall practice, education is provided by public sector. Child education is compulsory up to 14 years. 35% of population is still illiterate, right? But in Sri Lanka, 96% literacy rate is there, right? Only 15% of Indian students reach high school, just 7% is graduating because their number of the population is very high. So here the occupations: farming, 33%, labor, 19%, trade, trader, 10%, and the other jobs, 19%, and other 90, right? So they have categorized like this, right? So you can see the ladies are working as laborers. So in which school do they study? Government is 71%, private under 10, 9%, private due to more than 10, secondary education 20%. So what do they expect their child to be in the future? There are some of their aspirations were become an engineer, join Air Force, businessman, do a good job. As per the wish of their children. Right? So the second one is the most important thing, right? The parents are pressing the children and they are pushing the children to become doctors, engineers, right? Sometimes that type of students can affect psychologically. So in my family also, the one student is very studious and they migrated to Canada to educate the children, right? So the parents want a doctor in that family. The first one refused, 3 girls. Second one refused, right? First one went to IT side, second one teacher side, and the third one they pushed to be to enter the medical faculty, right? So now that girl is actually even she couldn't complete the basic education also. He got upset, right? So that type of thing. So we have to understand the children, potential, capacity, interest. So we have to allow them to do their according to their interest, right? That is the best way, right? So as per the wish of their children, it's good. So we give them roots, we give them wings, and great joys from little things, a hope that they will sow, a hope that they will try. We are sure that one day our children will learn to fly, right? So that is the expectation of education. Each and every parent are thinking in that way, right? So this is what we one side of that means we are not going to learn in depth of Indian education, the setup of education, right? So, so any questions? Right. So, this is our education system in Sri Lanka. Right? Can you, is that visible? The internet connection is not stable. Is
Yes.
that visible? Yes. So with that Indian education system, so education system in Sri Lanka is familiar for you because you are in the system, and also you know the structure of our education system. So do you think that early childhood education is well developed in Sri Lanka compared to the other countries?
Yeah, excuse me, madam. Can I have a questions with you?
Yes, yes.
So is this subject directly deal with the education system, and the subject is directly deal with the education system only?
No, we are going to compare
Then
this
can
comparative education.
comparative education is the name of the subject. Am I right?
Yes, yes,
Okay. So all these titles and notes are
yes,
are included in the subject in the area of comparative education, right?
yes.
Okay, right.
Okay, right. So actually, as teachers, right? I think they have given a module to you all. Is that so? But that was, I think, given so many countries' education, and South Africa's education is also there in that module. I think we have to know recent changes in education, right? If you went through that module, you will understand that was outdated, a little old. The stuff are there, right? Even I can share that module, right? I have that. But I wanted to give a little bit new type of modern things under comparative education. So why we have to compare education to develop our own education system? For that, we must know what the other countries are uh, having in their education system, right? So almost all the countries are doing lot of research, right? What is going on in grade 9 in so many countries? What is going on in grade 10? What will be the best? So from that, they are grabbing, right? So in that way, these subjects, objectives that, right? So comparing education means we are not just comparing. From that, you have to take a lot of things as teachers, right? What we have to do in to our education system, right? So education system means content, teaching, curriculum, syllabus, right? Skills, attitudes, everything included, right? Uh, so as a Sri Lankan, right, we have to know our system also clearly. What is the structure? Then only we can suggest something. If we are comparing to other countries, if we know about other countries' education, if we are thinking that education is best, we can suggest something, right? So I think you all are PGD students and B.Ed students, right? So your next step is going to be the masters, right? So in masters, you have to do research, right? For the research, this knowledge is important, right?
Excuse me, madam.
Yes.
Yes, madam. I was following reading TESL. Is this applicable for this course? Education system and everything for the TESL?
TESL, second
Yes.
language in English.
Yes.
So are you an English teacher?
Yeah, currently I'm doing the tuition classes. So I just following the course here only. So that's what I am having the confusion of this lesson. This is related to what?
TESOL, of course, I think at NIE also they had that they are considering that course is important for English teachers. Most of the English teachers are following that course, right?
No, this session you
So
are
is
doing
it
is
a degree
applicable
or diploma?
degree. BED in
Degree.
TESOL. Yeah.
BEd. Okay.
Yes.
So that is valid. Bachelor of Education no, in
Yeah.
teaching as a second language.
Yeah.
It's
No,
okay.
yeah. I just want to know is this syllabus is including for BED in TESOL also education system the thing you are teaching today?
Yes, yes.
Okay. No, because for the first day we learn about the humanistic and then cognitivism. So then that's what I am having the confusion of that. The second day I just learning. So I thought it is some other wrong classes I have joined. So that's the thing.
Humanism, that means you learn under psychology.
No, in TESOL.
Uh-huh.
Humanism and
So as a
cognitivism.
second
First
language
class
means
is
I think, no, for the BEd, no, it's a education
behaviorism.
purpose. So
First,
definitely
yeah,
professional
first day
subjects have to be there. Yes.
we learned the first
So,
day for the behaviorism.
uh, yes. So in we are also conducting Bachelor of Education honors degree program, no, not the TESOL thing. So BEd honors in English also there, right? That is also honors degree, but the number of students are less, so we are not conducting. Even for that, all the professional courses are there because to be a teacher, the professional courses will be help you to do your teaching efficiently. English, of course, your that means your main area you're going to teach. To teach that subject, this professional subject will help you to understand the students' behaviorism. Is that how under that you will learn some theories, right? Behavior. So you are going to deal with students now, right?
Yes.
So those things are important under psychology.
Yes. So today's session also will be important for BEd in TESOL, if I'm not mistaken, because
Now,
I'm having
comparative
the confusion
education
of
is
yeah.
also a professional subject. So here,
Okay.
right, and we are commonly speaking in this subject, right? So as a English teacher, right? So you can think, you can compare the teaching as a second language English how in other countries. The course component materials you can compare.
Okay, madam. Thank you very much.
But no need to worry because it's a Bachelor of Education program means it's for teachers, right? So in any teacher education program, these professional subjects are important, right?
Okay, madam.
So yeah, here in education system in Sri Lanka, the primary 1 to 5, right? And middle, we are having middle and secondary, right? Junior secondary and senior secondary. Junior secondary 6 to 9, right? 12 to 14 years. Even in Sri Lanka, up to 14 years compulsory education, right? And secondary, senior secondary 10, 11, GCO level, GC ordinary level. Student who are pursuing tertiary education must pass the GC O-level in order to enter the collegiate level to study for another 2 years. Right? After O-level, we are having A-level, right? So from that A-level results only, the children are going to enter the university, right? University entrance exam in Sri Lanka is GC A-level. Right, in 1972 reforms, 1 year pre-university education was introduced, right? University entrance year. But that 1972 reforms stands only for 5 years, right? And I think we learned under comparative education language issues in countries, right? Also, in the first lesson, we learn about what is comparative education, why comparative education important for teachers, right? So we learn why this subject is included in teacher education program, right? And post-secondary, General Certificate of Education Advanced Level and Vocational Diploma. Now, 13-year program is available. So the children who failed in O-level also can continue their studies up to 13. NVQ level, right? So NVQ level means skill-oriented programs. So there are 7 levels in NVQ. If you reach the 7th level, it will be equivalent to degree, right? So that is our Sri Lankan structure, right? And the university education, tertiary, bachelor's, so Bachelor of Science, Arts, Bachelor of Commerce, Business Administration, Bachelor of Laws, right? So general degrees are 3 years, right? Honors degrees are 4 years, right? So here, special bachelor's means Bachelor of Engineering, Nursing, Pharmacy, Dentistry, BSc, BA. Those things are coming under bachelor's level. 3 to 4 years, right? Master's 2 years, research master is 2 years, and doctorate 3 to 5 years, PhD, right? So this is the structure of Sri Lankan education system. So under primary education, school education in Sri Lanka is compulsory through to age 14 when students may disengage in favor of an apprenticeship or job. So the main target is to achieve a job, apply for a job. The first 5 years are spent in primary school. At the end of this, there is an optional scholarship examination that may permit access to superior grade of school. So scholarship examination, you can get a good school if you score highest marks. So under primary, those are the things we have in Sri Lanka. In middle education, 4 years of middle school follow to complete the compulsory education phase. The curriculum comprises predetermined academic subjects with little or no choice allowed. Right? Secondary education, 10 and 11, prepare secondary school students who wish to attempt their GCO levels. However, they must continue at collegiate level for a similar period and complete their A levels too. If they wish to subsequently enter university to study further, right? And the vocational education, there's the one university for vocational education in Sri Lanka. The state provides a number of vocational and technical training centers and programs for apprenticeship training too. So these take place within a system of 7 levels of qualification, right? So that is NVQ level, of which the upper one is rated equivalent to degree level. The 7th NVQ level is equivalent to degree. Tertiary education, you can see universities, right? We have 20 universities now. So there are a variety of tertiary academic institutions where program may be followed that range from 1 year certificates through to doctorates. The most vulnerable of these is the University of Colombo, which is also largest institution of the island and is illustrated here, right? So it was established in 1921 in affiliation with University of London. Today, its students study in independent faculties. So medicine, science, law, education, arts, management, and finance, graduate studies, and computing, right? So this is the simple explanation about our Sri Lankan education system, right? So
Excuse me, I
almost,
have a question.
yes.
I have a
Yes.
question. This is the question I would like to ask you, because a
Yes.
secondary means actually secondary is included from grade 6 to 11. Am I right? So is it all right?
Yeah.
Secondary
6 to
means
11. Yeah, 6 to 11, but it was divided into two, junior secondary and senior secondary.
junior secondary. What are the classes?
6 to 9.
Junior secondary 6 to 9, and then
Senior
11.
secondary 10 to 11.
it's okay. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, then after that, CGCO ordinary level and A level, right? So A level is the entrance. So they are going to enter the university. For that purpose only, the A level exam is there, right? And there are, for vocational diploma, of course, technical colleges are available, right? So HND diploma is there. College of Education is there. That is also coming under education system. But College of Education is pre-service education, right? So after completing the college, only they will get the appointment. So it is pre-service. Before coming appoint as a teacher, already they are trained, right? So in-service teacher training programs also there. So you all are doing that in service. You are working and learning, right? So that type of things are there in Sri Lanka, right? So now I think more than enough. We selected Finland because it is the number one best education country in Asia, Asian countries. Japan is also so normally Japan's people attitudes wise, right? So how they are having the structure, right? And the other countries. So more than 5 countries we learn, that is enough. Now we can compare with each one. So how is the primary education? What is the structure? How the secondary education structure? So you can have a small table, right? If you put into the table or grid, right, it's very easy to go through that before the exam, right?
And excuse me, madam, one more question is there. This is what
Yes.
why literature is not included in BEd? Because for teaching for us being a teacher, so English literature is very much important. So they are in BEd, it is not included. And apart from that, another question is, so uh, methodology of
So,
teaching. Why
yeah.
is that? Why isn't it included? So
So,
normally, for it is
yeah.
aren't we taught in the future? Won't be taught in the future as well.
No, teaching methodology, you're asking why teaching, you're learning to teaching methodology. Is it so?
Methodology as well as the English literature, especially the poem and all those areas are not included in BEd.
No,
So
no,
for
the
a long,
teaching methodology is very important. It have to be included.
yeah, is it included here in BEd?
Yes, yes. Right.
And
So
what about
in
literature then? Literature, poetry,
campus, right? So teaching
poetry.
methodology through different subjects. There are 4 subjects related to teaching methodology: presentation techniques, classroom teaching skills, teaching methodology, and uh, one another subject, right? All are related to teaching methodology. How you are going to teach, how you present your as a teacher, how you are going to present your subject. What are the techniques you have to use
It's
to
okay.
teach?
It's okay. Right? At the same time, the literature for poetry is not included,
Literature,
right?
poetry, we have in our we have elective subjects, right? That means the students who are doing BEd, their area, but the subject is going to teach in the school, right? Elective subjects. So we have English literature 1 and 2 subjects. So in the first 2 years, they will do literature 1 and continue with the literature 2. That is one pair, one subject. They can do another subject. We are offering 2 subjects for specialization. So English literature will come under that specialization subject. Because you are going to teach English literature, you are an English teacher. A literature teacher means you must have some sort of practice in that subject. Then you can do the teaching practice also in that subject.
So, isn't this certificate useful for teaching English literature by when we apply for teaching the university in the private college or in the universities? Then thereby, if you want to become an English lecturer, so by showing or by producing this certificate, BEd certificate. So I don't think that they will accept this as
To
a.
be a lecturer, right? To be a lecturer in a university or campus, right? At least you have to have a master's. Because you are going to teach for the BEd students, right? So you have to have a higher qualification than BEd. Normally they recruited like that.
After completion of this course, this
You can
study,
continue with your master's.
then the English literature and everything is included, right?
In the master's, right? So I think there are English degrees available in Open University. So I will just find out with our lecturer, English lecturer, and I can check with their qualification also, right? They have done that type of things. That means the teacher, the master who is doing literature is a master, MA in literature or something. I think he's having that type of qualification.
Thank you very much for your clarification. It's okay in the future. Let's see after completion of this, because especially it is needed in the future. Firstly, we want to complete this. It's okay, right? Thank you for your.
Yeah, according to your need only. Yeah, that's right. If you're a literature
Yeah, I'm
teacher,
very much. Yeah, I
yeah,
hope to
you
do
have
this
to
and
go in that path, no, right? So doing another Yeah,
At
yeah,
present,
that's
I
true.
do English literature as well these days with the poetry and all these things are going through. So
Yes.
that's why I asked you. Okay, okay, right, madam. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you can offer as a specialization subject. That is your subject you are going to teach in school. So our students, of course, they are offering for teaching practice and they are doing research on that literature. So half the 50% of the thing is coming under English side. But the thing is, they are doing the degrees for 4 years. So there's enough of time. I think for you all, how many years this program is? 1.5 years or 2 years?
1
I
year,
think
no matter.
1 year. So within 1 year, don't know
We
whether they
entered the
can.
final year now.
It's a top-up degree.
Yes.
So I think under top-up degree already, I think normally they recruited HND students and
Yes.
College of Education students for this now. So already they have experience in teaching because they already done teaching practice for 1 year, right? And I think they have done the professional subjects also, right? So that's a within the small period. They are going to give all the rush the program because it's a within 1 year maximum things have to be given. Okay, so now today we learned the education of two, right? So in the have you got the syllabus for comparative education? Your module is there. I can show the module. I'll just try to get that module. Because I'm going to start the module from next class, right? I have done the language part. I think only the South Africa part I couldn't finish. So I'm going to do that in the next class, right? With the module. No need to prepare the extra thing. Through the module itself, I can do it, right? I will show you.
Madam, can you share the today PDF to the group?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Wait, I'll show the. So actually this comparative education subject is you have to compare with the other countries and you must know what is happening inside your country. I mean, what are the courses available, especially early childhood education things. Also, you must know, right? What are the other countries doing under early childhood education? So why it is not much developed in Sri Lanka? So when you all are becoming teacher educators, right? So you have to give these views to your students when you are becoming a lecturer. So the horizon of that, right, the depth of things are going to be more than this.
And also, for comparative education. So I think these are the Finland, Japan, India, Sri Lanka, South Africa, or something like that. Call me. So these are the areas. These are the countries.
Yeah, wait, I'm going to show the module that they gave to me.
For the last time, I was unable to attend for those, so I want to go through them. I noted that Finland, Japan, and today India, Sri
No,
Lanka we studied.
Finland, of course, they don't have, right? I added Finland because as teachers, you all must know what is happening in that country, because that country is the number first, right? Number one in education.
Then which countries do we want to compare? So could you tell me so the number of countries that
No, whatever we learned, right? So
Japan also, right? Japan, India, Sri Lanka.
right, I will show you. Right, so share this. Can you see, is it visible? Bachelor of Education, TESS, second semester, comparative education, right? So an introduction to comparative education, right? So we have done this.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes.
Ma'am, this module, even though it says BEd in TESOL, this is for everyone, right? Even those who are doing the general
Yes.
BEd as well, yeah? Okay.
Yeah. So this is what they gave to me to teach, right? Evolution of comparative education as a discipline. So for the introduction we did, right? First chapter. Right. And the second one, education in multi-ethnic societies. So this is what I'm going to do next week, right? Under that, South Africa, United States of America, New Zealand, and Sri Lanka, right? This is multi-ethnic societies, right?
Madam, can't we get this in soft copy?
That of course I have to get the permission from them, because I don't know whether I thought the session for United Kingdom reform, right? So UK, the structure and things we did, right?
Madam, is this a first semester lesson or second semester lesson?
No, so this subject will be in one semester, right? Only once you will get. There's no continuation of this subject.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
So the model of education for economic development I did, right? Under that only Japan education reforms is coming. Elementary, secondary, we did under Japan education, right? So issues in secondary education, this is of course we have done. Educational technology. So the elementary school, junior high school, senior high school, special education, public school, connecting internet. Right, so under education technology, how the countries are incorporated in education, right? So that is also we have to do. New trends in education developed countries, right? So under that only that technology process is coming, human development and things. So income classification and things are there, right? So so in under education, right, we are comparing education means those who have possessed good these the degrees and qualifications will get good jobs, and definitely they will they can have better salaries than the others, right? So their lifestyle will be changed. So their level of living standard will be high, right? So that is the objective here, doing high studies, right? For promotions, and innovation in curriculum methods of teaching, current problems also we learn, right? Problem and issues facing by developed countries also we learn. So that is the last lesson, right? There are data, right? So right in the, now we have another 2-3 lessons now. I will show the data, but this was old data. Now it would have changed. This is 2003. Now we are in 2026. Definitely these numbers should have changed, right? But anyway, the idea you can get from these data, right? So educational problems in developed countries, we did it, right? Right. So almost 75% of the syllabus, I think I covered. That South Africa, that part I didn't do because it's related to the racism, really, right? So how, so through education only we can go up in our life, right? USA, UK, all those things we done. Right. I don't know when the next class is, right? They didn't set the timetable yet, right? Today they, have you got the timetable for comparative
No,
education?
madam. No,
Not yet,
No,
madam.
madam. No,
no, madam.
Right. I think now we
Okay,
have
we
done
have
more
the
than
ongoing
5
syllabus
classes.
also, madam. Excuse me.
Yeah. Right. And they have allocated 10 classes. So within that, I think I can cover up all this stuff. Okay. No need to worry.
Madam, how many
And
lessons do
I
we
will
have to
discuss
do
one paper
under
also
these
with you.
subjects?
Okay. 10.
10. 10 lessons.
Yeah.
Ma'am, are we having exams and assignments or only
So
assignments?
this module is having no exam paper we have to prepare. 2 hours paper. Right. So no, with
Online
the
mode
general
or
knowledge, right? You all are teachers and you know. Right. Oh yeah, maybe online, right? And I think you can talk to the coordinator and she will explain. I think one gent is there, so you can talk to him, right? So if you need any clarification, I can ask. But anyway, there's a paper for you. Because for the last batch also, I prepared a paper, right?
Excuse me, madam.
Yeah.
Is there any possibilities we can get past papers
Yeah, past
from the
paper.
previous?
Yeah, but I prepared was with me, so I can discuss that, right?
Okay.
Is it related to the comparative education only, your paper?
Yes. I'm doing the comparative education and special education, those 2 subjects. So those 2 papers I have. Right. Okay. Then thank you very much for your participation. Right. And we'll meet in the next class according to the timetable. They didn't send the timetable yet. Good night.
good night, madam.
Good night, madam.
Good
Good
night,
night.
Good
madam.
night.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can you please share the presentations?